All right, so this is for people who are in situationships. My advice to people who are in situationships. My philosophy on situationships has changed the older I've gotten and the more self-respect that I have built for myself. I remember being in my early 20s and kind of being in different like situationships and never having the confidence to tell the person that I was in a situationship that I liked them or that I wanted to pursue something more serious, because I feel like ultimately I just didn't feel like I was worthy enough for them. And despite, being in a situationship with the person and, maybe doing some, a little bit of hooking up, I was never able to conjure the words and say, hey, I want to pursue something serious with you. Because of my low self-confidence and because of the fact that maybe I thought that this person was more worthy than me or had higher worth than me, and that I just wouldn't be able to keep it. I want to be able to keep her. So, and because of that, I kind of suffered when I was in my early 20s because my fucking confidence wasn't high enough to develop a relationship, and it sucked ass, and it kind of impacted me after that too as well. It kind of fucking sucked ass. So my advice to people who are in relationships in situationships, is that a situationship should not last more than 2 or 3 months. Motherfucker, if you're in a situationship that's lasting more than 3 months, that's lasting 5 months, 6 months, girl, you're being played. Boy, you're being played. Like, look at the situation realistically and ask, what are you really getting out of a situationship? Because to my knowledge, a situationship is kind of a borderline relationship, but one where it hasn't been established. It hasn't been communicated that these are two people that want to be in a relationship. Usually there's one person that might want the relationship more, and there's another person who's a little bit more free and exploring their options, which is completely okay and fine. But both parties have to or should communicate that. And man, back then, had I would have given myself advice, would be to listen to the person I'm in a situationship with, even if they're not necessarily telling me directly that they don't want a relationship with me. I would say, look at the signs and pay attention to your gut. Pay attention, like, what can you assume from someone going away for the weekend? When you thought you guys were going to be having a good weekend. What can you assume when someone is saying or prioritizing other hangouts or other people or other dates over yours? Don't keep yourself in that situation. And ultimately, if you are in a situationship, have the courage to communicate what you want. I feel like, honestly, having the courage and having that direct communication and saying, hey, you know what? It's been like 2 months, 3 months, and we've been, kind of in the situationship. I want to pursue something serious with you, and being able to you yourself be honest with yourself in regards to knowing what you want. Because I feel like if you are in a situationship, there's at least one of you that's gonna want some sort of relationship. It's not just a hookup, it's like a situationship. I don't know, in my head, situationships are kind of like, they're more emotional than just like a hookup. And there's something kind of going on there. That's why it's like a situation. So ultimately, my advice is communicate with the potential partner. Tell them your true intentions. I think that in and of itself is already kind of an attractive thing, to communicate with your partner. And I think it expresses confidence. It expresses a determination. It expresses that clear communication, direct communication. Communicate with them what you want. And don't just lie around beating around the bush thinking that one day this person is that you want to be in a relationship with is going to change their mind, because you have to be able to be clear and direct in your relationship with them, and your communication with them, and your intent with them. And who knows, maybe that might be what saves your situationship or gets your situationship to the next level. So with that, guys, don't be taken for granted out here in these situationships. Girls, my non-binary people, don't be taken for granted in situationships. Take yourself serious. Maybe you're getting some needs met out of a situationship, but you're not necessarily getting your whole need to be in a relationship met by being in a situationship. So, you know, sometimes we can be taken for granted and taken as fools in these situationships, and it can have a long-term impact on our self-esteem and our self-image, and the way that we carry ourselves, the way that we think about ourselves, and the way that we feel about even other people, bro. It's like, if you stay in a situationship with someone who's not taking you seriously, you can start to think that other people are going to do that too. But ultimately, you're the person that allowed yourself to be in that situation, and you are enabling that situation. So there's accountability on our behalf as people who are in situationships but want to be in relationships. Like, we've got to be able to be honest with ourselves and say, hey man, this ain't what you want. Just tell her, just tell him, tell them, so that you're not here fucking constantly having to fucking check their Instagram story, or to avoid jealousy, or to avoid feelings of resentment. Like, just tell them what you want and figure it out. Let go of the kind of a relationship, but not completely, because that's not healthy for you ultimately. We all desire to be loved. We all want companionship. We all want to be prioritized, and a situationship is nothing, is not meeting any of those needs to be prioritized. You are not being prioritized in a situationship. You are simply an option. So perhaps it comes with age, perhaps it comes with time, perhaps it comes with increased self-esteem, but don't just be an option out here. Once you're in a situationship for more than 3 months, you really got to question, what are you doing? And are you selling yourself short? And how is the other person perceiving you because you are selling yourself short? Is it making them lose more respect for you? Is it making you look less attractive? These things matter. I feel like sometimes the most attractive thing is to pull the plug. Hey bro, if you don't want to be in a relationship with me, then I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna skedaddle. I know my worth. That's attractive, man. Knowing your worth and pulling away when it's time and not gifting your presence to someone is attractive. It's a sign that you know what you have to offer, and that you're not going to settle for less. So with that, guys, communicate in your situationships. Don't know how many times I'm going to say it. Communicate in your situationships to not let yourself down, and hopefully get your needs met, and be able to grow your situationship to a relationship if it's possible. With that, guys, remember to always keep self-improving. When it comes to relationship talk, never center relationships in your life. Always have some other things going on. Have a life, have goals, have things that you're looking forward to, make plans, you know, have passions, have things that you love to do outside of just being romantically entangled with someone. Have other things, or romantically connected. Entangled just kind of has a negative connotation. But yeah, don't just be a fucking situationship or a relationship out here. You are more than that, but you have to spend time with yourself to understand what it is that you love in this world. With that, guys, peace and love.